like him, but you're going to be a little bit more, you'll be crying, but I want that tear. She managed to not only cry and tear up, there's a single tear at the end of that sequence that rolls
Right down her cheek.
down her cheek, drops off, and right after it drops off, we cut to the same close-up of the bridge, the exact same one that they have in Saturday Night Fever. The whole sequence is from her from behind, her in front, her from behind, her in front, close-up of the bridge, and that's how they have it in Saturday Night Fever. But I think that speaks to the part where she's really, really, just depressed. And again, there's many big problems in America that this movie speaks to, and they're not mysteries. They're things that we know are bad, but they're things that we need to do about. And depression's a really terrible.
Yes, it is.
Condition to go through.
Yes.
And
we've all been there.
we've all been there.
However,
That's why I did it.
temporarily.
A movie someone said that I met at the SINY Festival. He said, you made a movie everyone can relate with, not just women, because I was talking about the empowerment for women. I said, you know what? Go write that on IMDb. And bless his heart, he did.
Mm-hmm.
He went and gave us a review, and he wrote a movie everyone can relate with on. And who among us can't relate with being depressed over something?
It's true. We've all been there.
Loss of a loved one, loss of a relationship,
right?
Loss of a job,
absolutely.
Loss of so much at one time that we feel overwhelmed. And in fact, she says that in the movie. Remember the scene where the bedroom's a mess?
Yeah.
And he says, and why don't you clean it up then? And she said, because it's overwhelming. Because to her, it's very overwhelming. She looks at it and she can't manage cleaning up the whole floor of her apartment. And it sounds crazy, but I think a lot of us have been in those spots.
I don't think anybody's immune to it. I mean, you have to really be cold-hearted to not have experienced these things.
Or I guess exceedingly rich and never have any problems.
Well, no, being exceedingly rich doesn't mean you don't have problems.
No, this is actually true.
I mean, look at Tiger now, right?
I can attest, not just Tiger Woods. I know some people, and people with a lot of money are not always the happiest people.
That's right, they're not.
And it's a shame because, there was that line in Forrest Gump that I always loved, and he said, well, money can't buy happiness, but it sure does make life a whole lot easier.
Well, yeah, it's true.
And it gives you the opportunity to really, and there are some people can't afford to go to a movie tonight on this cold Friday night during the Christmas season. And, if you have money where you can go see a movie, or you can go to Paris for the weekend, or you can go to LA, be thankful. And, it's like that line in The Secret, an attitude of gratitude. I always tell people.
I've said it many times on my show.
And so I try, when I hold my St. Rita medal, or they have like gratitude rocks in The Secret. And I've done that. You get a rock and you hold it. Mm-hmm. But with me, like my St. Rita medal or my Christ, I have him on the cross here. Mm-hmm. I wear it close to my heart. I never take it off. But again, regardless of what religion, if you're Buddhist, Catholic, Christian, Jewish, that doesn't mean you believe in God. But when I hold this, I try to only think of things I'm grateful for in this life, the wonderful things that have happened to me, and not to complain. So when I hold this medal, I try and keep it positive. And now I'm grateful for this wonderful person I love very much in my life, and that she's healthy and she's still in my life. I'm grateful for the opportunity to direct a Hollywood film, for this wonderful award. I'm grateful for the 6 nominations, or for the fact that my mom's still alive and can spend Christmas with us. There's a lot to be grateful for. I mean, and that's really what the Mandala Maker is about, the beauty of life. And that's what the mandala itself to me represents. I'm sure it means something different to a lot of people, but to me it's life, how it's this circular pattern, goes round and round, but you always start at the center and you work your way out. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you can appreciate life or appreciate a great mandala, I think you're on the right track.
Oh, yeah, well, absolutely, because if you can appreciate life, then you're finding your happiness within, because that's where your happiness is. Happiness is not having a relationship or having awards and all this. It comes from within you first. Mm. All these other things enhance it.
Because someone could love you so much and that could bring you happiness, but if they can't love themselves, that's why the relationship doesn't work at that time.
Yeah.
But like the mandala, the pattern returns on a higher level, like Terrence says in the movie, and like Carl Jung originally stated. And I understand that now, about how someone could not be ready, but then when they return to you, they're ready, and they're ready to love you. That's just one facet of it. The other thing I was going to say is, a lot of people say to me, I know a lot of Staten Island filmmakers, that how do you do it? How do you get bigger money to make your movies? And I say, well, not only am I positive and do I think my movies are very professional, but because of my outlook on life and confidence, I've been able to ground. That's why I got hired to direct this thing out. You never hear me I'll never sit here and go, the movie business is hard. It's so terrible. You can't get money. Just do it yourself. And You know, I never will put it out there like that because I want it to be positive. I always want it to be a positive message. So that's me. But I think that if you have a confidence, I think a lot of people with money will come to you, investors.
No, you'll
executive
attract.
Producer. You will attract it.
What you put out there is what you.
I totally believe that.
But one thing you have to remember, though, when you put something out there that you want to attract something back, you must be very specific. Because you could say, well, I want money to make a new movie. I want $1 million. But you might attract a person with that money who's going to be such a pain in the butt. That, so you have to put it out there that you want somebody that's generous and
I want to
good
make a movie about the life of St. Rita, and if any really spiritual person's listening with money, please open your pocketbook. If this is what you want to see in Hollywood, you'll only see it if you fund it.
That's
you
right.
know, and if you've got the money, give me a call or give me an email at the end of the show.
Okay.
But
that's right. There's a page at the
Christine
end
can
of the
get
show.
a hold of me as well.
Right.
But you know, you say I want to make a movie about the life of St. Rita that I'm writing, directing, and producing, and someone who's going to understand her story and wants it, not want to just contribute. Because that's the problem. If someone doesn't know something about subject matter and they go, here's what I'd like to see happen. Now you're not making the story
Exactly.
anymore.
So when
You're
you
making
put it out there, you got to have somebody that's going to be
and my
with
investors
it.
actually, quite frankly, like that about me. I say to them, well, what do you want? Do you want to feel, you'll be a part of this movie, but do you want to feel like the writer? Do you want to get your ideas out there? Or do you want to make a movie, make some money, and do positivity? Whether you're doing it for commercial reasons, money, which there's nothing wrong with capitalism.
That's right.
Or spirituality, or both. Mm-hmm. Do you want a successful film? Or do you want to sit there and just throw ideas that are probably going to destroy the film, and quite frankly, may even cost you your money? Because I have made money, Christine, on every movie I've ever made. I get in the black. This is even a short film that we made for a lot of money, and we will be, lo and behold, in the black on this one as well. Mm-hmm. And we're working on a distribution deal for Rex, my last feature film. But for me to do that, I've got to be able to work a certain way. I've got to be able to, you let the people, let the craftsmen do their crafts. Just like I don't do the craft services. I don't go there and make the grilled cheese and cook the tomato soup and cook the pasta. Mm-hmm. Got to let the guy doing craft services do that, or the caterer.
Right.
I'm not the art director, although I will give, as a director and a producer, you'll give your input. I always say the two people that should have a conversation on a set are the director and the producer. The producer can kind of come over and question the director, and they're the only two. Now, if you're one and the same, more power to you. You'll still have another producer keeping you honest. You normally do, because a producer has to protect the financial investment of the picture, the integrity of the picture, and has to make sure it's sellable. Now, if you're a director-producer like me, you've had turns where you've just produced, not directed, or done both. You don't want to undercut yourself. These are all things, but I think investors see that in me. I put things out in the universe. And you've also got to have the patience to wait. I mean, even I'm working on that one a little bit still, the patience. I have a little.
Nobody's perfect.
No, yeah, you have to have the patience to wait. But I think, I've met a lot of people in this business, the movie business, that if I felt that they had some spirituality, some belief in something bigger than themselves, maybe not necessarily my beliefs about God, but something bigger than themselves in the spiritual realm, I feel they would go farther. And if they were more positive, they would go farther. And if they, you also have to, we had a great conversation, me, you, and Frank, last week after my speech, and I said, you got to be careful of negative people. They all attach themselves to you.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've worked with some negative people.
Yeah.
No one I've named tonight. I mean, Courtney was wonderful. Robin Ann Phipps is wonderful. Daniel Roebuck's a good friend of mine. But I've worked with certain actors, females and males both, that I would never work with again. That come out, they're negative. Oh, you're going to get this in the Oscars? Yeah, all right, whatever. I don't want you on my team if that's your take on
No, if you're not going to have enough confidence in what you're doing.
Oh, you're not going to, it's your local festival, oh, big deal. No, yeah, it is a big deal. SINY Film Festival's been around. Oh, you got the most nominations? Well, you didn't win. Oh, well, you only won 2 awards, not 6. You couldn't realistically think you were going to win,
Sounds like a bunch of sour grapes to me.
Yeah, but there are people like that. There are people.
Oh, I know there are.
And that's why I always tell our good friend Lance Ray, I warn him, Lance, be careful who you work with. These people will bring you down. Be careful. Mm-hmm. Because someone tells you something nice and says, oh, wow, that actor looks like that, or that's a nice poster, doesn't mean that you got to really get to know someone before you work with them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you won't always have the time to do that. Mm-hmm. But when you work with someone, I think your eyes will be open as to what kind of a person, because on a set, things are, and tying in with the whole spirituality, I think that, you want positive people around you to have success in your in your realm. That's my take.
Frank, our floor manager, is telling me that we have a clip, so we can roll it if you want to.
Oh no, Patty. I'm in a funk lately. Every day it's like a battle to get up, you know, the days just seem really long.
Naomi, what are you talking about?
I just loathe my job. My artwork is getting nowhere. I just don't seem to have a reason to get up in the morning. This constant anxiety.
Listen, Nay, calm down. I know it's been a hard time for you, but you know the economy is tough. And your artwork, why can't you just enjoy the process? You know what they say, victory is in the struggle.
No, it's not. I don't even know what I'm doing with this abstract stuff. It's ungrounded. I just feel lost.
This isn't about Eric, is it?
No, it's not about him. Not mainly, anyway. I mean, he's been there for me as much as he can be. I don't think he understands what I'm going through.
Naomi, I don't think you understand what you're going through.
Isn't that obvious? Why do you think I'm talking like this? I need to find out. I need to figure this out.
Naomi, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
Look, I should go. Talk to you later.
You be okay?
A good friend once told me every day above ground is a good day. Guess I'll do my best to subscribe to that theory.
That was perfect. Let's give your guys a little hand of applause there. They cut it right on the bridge. Much thanks to Frank Dudley and to your crew who got that up there. Yeah, no, I mean, we're actually talking with IFC, which does the short showcase to show the whole movie, Sundance Channel. Channel 13 does Reel 13. They only pay $500, which is, you know, everyone goes, oh, it's not about money, but, you know, we put a lot to the movie. But, you know, also a TV, any kind of money in getting on TV play is great. But we're going to have a DVD release. We're going to screen at theaters. People go, how are you going to screen a short at theaters? We're going to screen in a 60-minute block, 34-minute short, 26-minute Q&A with me. You pay for an hour. You don't pay $10. You'll pay either $4 or $5. Remember that? Mm-hmm. We're rolling prices back to 1985.
That's right. I remember even less than that, but I'm not going back that far. You know what occurred to me just now when we were watching the clip and everything? I said to myself, one of the beauties of this movie is that it is about something very real. And the mandala is a very real thing. It's a very real piece of art. It's a very real thing.
Because it represents something more than just this, more than just what you see.
Right.
It's the beauty, it's the patterns, it's almost like a message from God, but it's also, you know, it's the beauty of life. This mandala is our life. We start at the center and we work our way outward with life and, you know, in our journey in life. And I think that that's a very important thing. And I wanted to do it in a way where we can entertain people and they wouldn't get bored with it. And so if you looked at that sequence that your audience just saw, where she's replaying, that's cut exactly like, I had my photographer watch the Saturday Night Fever on a big, huge screen, bigger than your monitor here, TV, and he took digital stills, then we went and set up the shot, and he framed it exactly the same way while looking at the stills and comparing it. And I said, let's do it exactly the same way. And, you know, I always wanted to emulate that sequence as a child, and it was like a dream come true. And people pick up on it. And the way our song, the Mandala Maker, the instrumental is slowed down, Burmeisters, is slowed down, Burmeisters Chow. But the way it's slowed down, it sounds a little like How Deep Is Your Love, the way they did a slow instrumental version of it in their bridge sequence. We actually use How Deep Is Your Love at the end. We do a cover of it You were asking me about that. Got a festival license, and we still have to pay through Words and Music, but it was more reasonable because we got a cover. It wasn't the Bee Gees singing.
Right.
But Robin Phipps does she's got a beautiful voice. And in fact,
Yeah, I heard that.
I told her I had the idea to use it in the end because of the way I was framing the shot, and I was going to use it anyway. So out of nowhere, she just starts singing it, and I heard her singing it, and it was like a siren song. She has easily the most beautiful voice I've ever heard.
Yeah, she does have a beautiful voice.
And kind of a Nora Jones voice. Very beautiful. And she really got what I was trying to do with the song, The Mandala Maker, because Greg composed it, and me, Greg, and Robin stayed till 2 a.m. at her house around a grand piano she has in her house, really, really trying to get the song going. And I just remember, I wanted it a little slower, and Robin said, I think it should be more slower. And she said, Greg, I see it more as I said, it could be a little faster too. We could do, remember that song, You Gotta Be Bad, You Gotta Be Bold, You Gotta Be Wiser. And I thought, we could give it some kind of a kick like that. And Robin said, I think it could be more like A Whole New World. And I always loved that song, A Whole New World, from Aladdin. And it really has that kind of a feel to it. That I see a world of beauty, I'm not a singer, but I think I did it pretty good there. But if you see the film, it's very much like they use A Whole New World in Aladdin. And I owe that to Greg's great composition. I owe it to Robin Phipps for her suggestion. And both of them for their open willingness. They worked with me, and we stayed till 2 a.m. To cultivate the final sound of that song. And we actually recorded it here at Laughing Dog Studios on Van Duzer. It's on Van Duzer. Great studio. I've worked with him again on another project.
I thought it's near Victory Boulevard.
It's right where Victory and Van Duzer meet, right by where that.
I know where you're.
You know where I'm talking about.
I've been there. Yes.
That fast food joint's right there on the corner.
Taco Bell, I believe.
Taco Bell and KFC, I think it is.
Right.
It was a kid. Now it's both, I think. But it's right there. But Bill was really a gentleman and helped us, with it. It was just great. It was great. He runs Laughing Dog, and they've recorded major artists there. And we recorded Robin in doing both songs. We did instrumental things recording, and he even did our sound mix. Bill Donnelly, wonderful. I would recommend Laughing Dog. A lot of Staten Island filmmakers don't know there's a place they can go to do sound mixing and to record music. And he'll work with you on reasonable rates. I mean, he gets a certain amount, but he'll work with you and work out a deal with Bill. I mean, I'd recommend it. Don't just do it in your basement.
Right.
Trust me, get it done professionally.
Yeah, no, because of the acoustics and all that.
And that's one thing we have is great sound and great music.
That's good. Yes, absolutely, you do. Tell me, do you have any idea if anybody wanted to buy a mandala, even just a small one like this, where they would go?
Come to my house. I sell them out of the trunk of my car. No, no. You could go to the Rubin Museum of Art. They have postcards and pictures of me. They're I want to say West 21st. I should know by heart. We filmed there. West 21st, West 28th. They can look, it's a famous museum, the Rubin Museum of Art, Manhattan. They have postcards, pictures, puzzles of mandalas. They have a mandala exhibit. We may screen our film there in the future. We're going to definitely be screening at the Tibet Museum, and we may do a screening at MoMA as well. We're just setting our slate while we're in festivals to start screening, and we're going to come out with a DVD. Christine, I'd love your permission to put this show on the DVD as an extra.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you've said it here, so you cannot sue us.
That's
now.
right.
Not that I thought you would. You're a spiritual woman.
That's right.
I
wouldn't
see you
do
in
that.
court.
No.
I want my $1 million, Sam.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
No, but they can go to the museums and they can appreciate. They can see real mandalas. We made up a lot of the mandalas you saw in the movie were made just for the movie. Betsy Roslin, a Staten Island artist, did all our mandalas, and I hope she hears her name. I'll have to remind her when it's on. But we hired someone to make mandalas. There was another one, Chandini, who's got her mandala hanging in that. Did you ever see that bookstore right there, not far from where Bill's thing is, on Bay Street? It's what is it? The Everything Goes Cafe.
Oh yeah.
They have like books and
yes.
It was a mandala. It was a $4,000 mandala.
Wow.
We had to be very careful with it. They said you could use it in the movie. I said, Greg, bring it right back after the scene, because we were filming at Shakti Yoga that day. Pam and Alice were kind enough to let us film there, and you go through that long train walk, and then right there is the Everything Goes Cafe, and then there was a Honduras restaurant where we took the crew one day to eat. They claimed they had the best steak sandwich in the world. I don't know if it was the best. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. They ran out of steak sandwiches that day because we bought so many.
Ate them all, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
But we had rice and beans for the 2 vegetarians on the crew too.
Oh, well, that was good that you catered
We
to
had
the
a vegetable
vegetarian.
dish. We, you know, on a crew, that's another thing. You want to always have a vegetarian option.
Right.
Should always have on your craft service table peanut butter and jelly and bread and fruit cups and things if people don't like what you have.
Right.
So that they're not, you know, you want to always have different options.
Yeah, so that they don't go hungry because they don't like anything.
Exactly, exactly.
Right. So then, so tell me then, you're going to be taking the mandala maker, and it's going to be all over the place now. How will our audience be able to try to see if they can see it at some point?
Sure. I mean, I'm going to leave my email address at the end of the. Should we put it up now as well as the end, or
No, but at the end of the show,
we'll put the email address up.
there's an email address for Sam, and you'll see it. You'll have a pen and paper handy so that you can write it down. And
you
if you want to get
can
in touch
always
with
email
him,
me and get on my mailing list, and I will tell you where the screenings will be. You can also go to www.imdb.com.
IMDb.
IMDb, like
The letter I, the letter M.
M as in Mary, D as in David, B as in boy. It's the Internet Movie Database, and it's not just some website. It's how the industry defines you. You have to make a professional movie to get on that page, or being in a film festival, or, and Lance has a page in there as well. Lance Ray has been on your show and in the studio.
Yeah,
but
we've done
there's a lot,
several shows.
Richard Gere has a page. Every actor, every filmmaker, Quentin Tarantino, Steven Spielberg, all have pages. And we usually put on our page where we're screening next, what festival, or what venue, if we're going to be in a movie theater for a week. We're also getting a website up. It's not up yet for Mandala, but we're going to take this all to the end. Beyond the Oscars, we're going to be in festivals. We're going to win more awards. We've got 4 and counting so far for awards. We're up for a number in 2 other festivals. We're also going to, as well, put it in movie theaters, one-nighters, and we may do a screening at Angelina's. And we're going to release the DVD, and the DVD is going to have a ton of extras. It's going to have commentary. We've got a making-of documentary. We'll put your show. We've
That's
got Robin
right,
reading
great.
a beautifully sad poem she wrote called The Mandala Maker, based on the movie.
Really?
Yeah, that focuses, you'd have to hear it, but it's a sad, tragic, beautiful poem. She reads it. We recorded her reading it. Very emotional. That's going to be on the DVD as an extra. We've got a blooper reel because it's such a heavy-hearted drama.
So it's not finalized yet.
No, we're putting the DVD together as we speak, and I believe a lot of people will be interested in buying it. It's a beautiful film. People that may have a film project want to contact me. Future investors, some of those people living on the South Shore and $8 million mansions. Please feel free to use my email and get to me. If I'm always at 1,000 emails because I'm in the movie business. So. And I have so many things. So if it bounces back, just try me again. It'll eventually get through. I always answer assuming there's nothing offensive in there, I always answer my email.
Oh, sure.
So I'll get back to people. And it's my hope that I inspired some people here today with the show.
Yeah, well, I hope so too. I mean, doing this show, Spiritual Exploration, it's always my hope that my audience will get something out of it and be inspired, or something will click with them, that they will understand something about their life a little bit more than they did before. I've had people actually come over to me in grocery stores and whatever and thank me for the show because they've been getting a lot out of it.
It's funny you say that. It's much like the Mandala Maker for me in that, and we look at this poster back here of the wonderful Courtney Hogan. They see the movie, and some women come up to me and they tell me some of the most heinous things that have happened to them in their lives.
Oh my God.
The most personal, violent things that they've gone through.
Oh God.
Or just terrible, tragic things. And they relate. The fact that they trust me enough that they really got something out of the picture, to me, that's worth so much. And that they're over it and they're able to talk about it.
That's true.
The fact that the
means
picture
a lot.
entertained them. In Film Columbia, and again, we played with Precious and The White Ribbon, which won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. Up in the Air with George Clooney, won the best film by the National Board of Review. The Men Who Stare at Goats, which is a movie you'd like. It's a very spiritual movie. It's tongue-in-cheek, but it's very funny. We played with these huge movies. Pirate Radio, which is currently playing in the movies now with Philip Seymour Hoffman. We were in that festival, and the projectionist came down and sought me out and said, Sam, thank you for making that movie. I got a little tear in my eye. What a great, great, heart-wrenching drama. Thanks for making it. And that was the first time that guys have told me they've enjoyed it, but that a guy had been that emotional and upfront with me. And then tonight in your studio, someone said that. wow, brought a tear to my eye, and that made me feel good. You know, usually it's women who come and say that, but you know.
With my show here, I mean, mostly women watch it, but I do run into men too.
And you know, I'll tell you, this is wonderful, and I want more of these, but that to me is worth as much as any award in the world. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to put some positivity in the universe. And I'm going to say one more thing, Christine. I'm blessed to do the job that I love. I thank God every day. I thank God for having food on the table. And I go like this, and I say thank you, and I bless the food. And then I thank him for letting me do the job that I love, writing, directing, producing. I'm great at it. I'm really blessed, and I'm going to keep on being positive, even in the face of great adversity, even in this whole economy, which I think is getting better, not worse.
I hope
and
so.
And I'm not going to keep saying it's going to get worse. It's going to get better.
It has to.
It has to. It's at the point where it's got to rise.
It has to.
And the more that we all believe that, the better it will be. That's my take on things. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, no, that's a good thing. And to be positive is a very, very important thing, because when you're positive, you attract positive things into your life. And when you're negative, you attract negative things. So
Exactly.
may as well just stay positive.
Why don't we put the email address up right now, because I see we're near the very end of it.
No, we're going to close now, and then we'll have
Okay.
we're
Oh,
running
they
the
put it
credits.
up?
Oh, yeah,
All
it
right.
comes right after this. So in the meantime, I want to say thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
being
Christine.
here.
I had a great time. Let's consummate it.
It's been a very real pleasure to have you. It really
We
is.
shook hands. We didn't smoke a cigarette after the show.
And with that, I'm just going to say good night.
Good night, everyone.